one issue that pops up with cases that are humanitarian, especially at the border, is being able to fund the operation, because they're really time-intensive kind of cases. A lot of paperwork, a lot of staff are required. How does that work with regard to payment, or are certain other cases subsidizing those particular cases so you could do what you want to do in those areas, in those?
No, no, they're profitable. Those cases are profitable for us, and we are pretty good about time tracking. Although we're a flat fee firm, so not everybody bills, but we can get a pretty accurate sense of what it costs us to prepare a VAWA. And then we set our prices not based on what everybody else is charging, but based on what we put into our cases. Now, it just so happens that our cases are pretty in line with other local firms, sort of in the mid-range, but that's not how we set our prices. And that can be really useful, particularly when you're still small and you're concerned about price objections, and someone comes to you and they say, well, so-and-so down the road is charging $1,000 less, or can't you give me a discount? But if you've run, the reports, and you know that it costs you so much money to work this case because that's the amount of work you put into it, then you can very cleanly say to a lead, I'm sorry, but if I were to charge you less, you would get lower service. And that's not what I want for you. And that's probably not what you want for you. So to answer your question, we make sure that all of our offerings are profitable, but we also do a lot of pro bono work. So the pro bono, the thing is, we typically will not just take someone in who calls the firm as a regular lead and asks for pro bono. I won't say never, but it's a pretty rare thing. Typically what we do is get our pro bono work through the NGOs who have a screening mechanism. They have like a salary determination. They make sure someone qualifies for services. And then we can say to them, we'll take a few U visa cases, or so far this year, almost all of our pro bono work has been related to the unaccompanied migrant kids through the Vecina project. And we've had, I don't know the number of cases, but a significant amount of cases of those kids. And so that's how we do the service work. But the humanitarian work, we make sure that we're profiting. And of course, we have clients who are low income, but we offer them payment plans and we make it, flexible for them. That's how we make it accessible.
You said the most important thing, which is that most immigration lawyers, especially small solo, do, is to keep track of the time, not for billing purposes directly, because we're usually flat rate, but if you don't know how long things are taking, and we're kind of, it's nice not keeping this hourly, this minute by minute tab that other firm, employment law firms, wherever they have to do. It's much easier with a flat rate system, but you have to know exactly how much time you're spending on something, and you'll be shocked. You got to know what your actual hourly rate is, not just the number you think it is. In reality, you're paying a third of that. That's the number one thing I tell people from the start. Do it when you start practicing, so you're in the habit, because it's annoying keeping track of time. It's an obnoxious side thing you have to do, but it's going to make or break you. So many people think they're making a lot of money, but they're not, and it's because they're not keeping track of the time.
Yeah, I mean, we use Lollylaw for our case management software, and they have a pretty easy time tracking feature. And the first time I did this report, this drill down, it blew my mind, because our most high value cases, which were removal defense and defensive asylum, were our least profitable.
Yeah.
We would profit less on a $13,000 case than we would on a $3,000 case.
Yeah.
So we didn't change the fee structure because we just felt like we couldn't.
What are you gonna do? Yeah,
we just couldn't charge more. But again, when people come and they say $13,000, that's a lot of money, we can say that is because you get this much attention and time from the attorneys, on these cases. This is not something that we can delegate and give you the best representation possible. So.
It's wonderful. That's very interesting stuff.